Hello everyone, how are you doing? I hope you're having a wonderful day. In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can create this landscape auto material to paint the landscape that we created in the last video. So if you didn't saw that video, I definitely recommend that you check it out so you can create your own landscape. So if you do like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe so you don't lose any new content. Let's start. First, we need to get the textures to use in the landscape. So for that, I'm gonna use Megascans. So let's go here into the quickly add to the project, Quixel Bridge. So to use Quixel Bridge, you need to be logged in into your account. So just log in, then you can go here into the home, you can go to the surfaces, then you can select a type here. First, let's get a grass one. So let's go to the grass. Then I'm gonna select this mossy grass here. Just select it. Here you can select the quality that you want from low, medium, high or highest quality. I'm gonna leave as high. Then you can download. After you download, you can add to the project. Okay, after downloading, just hit add. Then the text will be added in the folder Megascans Surfaces. So I'm gonna import the other ones here. It's the same thing, so I'm gonna speed up this part. Okay, so if you go to the content browser, here you can find Megascans, Surfaces, and here are the textures. So for this one, I grab a mossy grass for the grass, a cliff for the mountains here, and a snow for the highest points on this terrain. Now we can start creating the materials. Because the material will have a lot of nodes, I'm going to separate this into different material functions. You can think of material function as a normal material, but with an output that you can use inside another material. You will know what I mean when you see it, so let's start. First, let's go to the content browser here. Just press Ctrl Space to open it. Let's go to content and let's create a new folder. Let's call this materials. Then inside this folder, I'm gonna create a new folder. Let's call this landscape. Then inside this one, I'm gonna create a new folder for the material functions. Okay, let's open it. Let's start creating the first material function. This will be the grass. So I'm gonna create a material function for each layer in the landscape. So let's right click here. Then go to material and material function. Let's name it MF for material function, then grass. And let's open. Okay, so as you can see, we have an output here. Let's rename the output name here to grass. Now we can start creating the material. First, let's grab all the texture for the grass. So let's go in the content browser. Let's go to Megascans, Surfaces, the grass folder. Then let's grab all these three textures and drag and drop into the graph, like so. Let me just organize this here. Okay, so now I want to convert this texture sample to parameters so later we can change the textures if we want. So let's start with the grass here. Let's right click, convert to parameter, and let's call this grass albedo. Then let's select this parameter. Here in the group, I'm gonna type grass. So I just created the grass group here and put this parameter into this grass group so later it will be better organized. Let's do the same with the other textures. So here in the normal, right click, convert to parameter. Let's call this grass normal and put into the grass parameter. So I already typed it, so we don't need to type again, just select grass here. Then for the other one, right click, convert to parameter, grass ORD. This stands for ambient occlusion, roughness, and displacement, because this texture already have these three maps inside each channel here. So that's why I'm naming it like this. Okay, so we have the textures here. Now we need a way to map this into the landscape with the UVs. So we already have a node for that. If you right click and type landscape, you see this node, the landscape layer chords. This is the UV for the landscape. So I'm gonna grab this node and multiply. So just hold M into the keyboard and left click. Then you have a multiply node. I'm going to multiply this with a scalar parameter. So just hold S and left click to create a scalar parameter. And let's name this grass tile size. And let's default this to 1. And again, let's select this and put into the grass group. There we go. And then we can connect this into the B value here into the multiply. Then the result we can put on all textures here. The same result. Okay, we are almost done. Now let's grab these values and make a material attribute with this. So let's right click and type set material attributes. In this node, we can define what information we're gonna pass in to create a material. So you can select this node, go here into the attribute set types in this array, add a new element, and here you can define what information you're gonna pass. So let's start with a base color. Let's add another one for the normal, another one for the ambient occlusion, and another one for the roughness here. So we're gonna have all these four informations here that we have in the textures. So to better organize things here, I don't want to make like these long wires. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a named reroute. Right click and start type named reroute. And let's name this albedo. And then we can connect these results here, this RGB, into this. And then in any part of the material, you can just right click and type the same name, albedo, and you have that information without connecting any wire. So this will be better organized. So actually, let's name this base color. Base color. Okay, and here we have base color, just connect here. Let's do the same with the normal. So right click, type name it reroute. Let's name this normal. Pick the RGB here and put here. Then here we can type normal. Let's go up here into the name it reroutes category, normal. Let's do the same with ambient occlusion, and the ambient occlusion is the R channel of this texture. So let's add a named reroute. Let's call this AO for ambient occlusion. Pick the R here, put here. Then we can just grab this node here. And for the roughness is the G channel. So let's type a named rerouted. Let's call this roughness and pick the G channel. Now we just need to grab the same node here, roughness, and put here. And this is the material that we can go and put into the output here. There we go, we have the grass here, as you can see. So later we're gonna come back here to make some changes to add more to this layer, but for now it's okay. Let's just continue. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna do exactly the same thing with the other two layers, for the cliff and for the snow. I'm just going to, of course, change the name to snow and cliff here in the parameters and change the group here. So I'm gonna speed up this part. Later I come back with the results. So let's go. Okay, so I just finished creating the last material function. It is the same as the grass that I showed you. The only difference here is that I changed the name. This is cliff albedo, cliff normal, and cliff or RD. Then cliff tile size in the cliff group. Same thing for the snow. Here we have the snow textures into the snow albedo, snow normal, and snow or RD. And here is snow tile size into the snow group. So it is the same as the grass, just repeat it to other textures. So now we can start creating the main material that we're gonna put into the landscape. So let's start. Let's go here into the materials folder, landscape. Here we're gonna create a normal material this time. So just material, let's call this M landscape. And let's open this one. Let me talk this here. Okay, so first things, we need to check this checkbox here, the use material attributes. If you're not seeing this, just click in this main node here and check this one. So we're gonna check it because in this node here we have the roughness, the base color, the normal, but we are already adding these informations here into the material functions for each texture, so we don't need this here. Just check this. So it's just one pin here for the material attribute. Okay, now we can go here into the material functions, just select all three of them and just drag into the main material here. And as you can see, we have the material functions that we created with the textures here. As you can see, we have the output name here set it to grass and the other is set to result. That's because I forgot, so let's do now. Let's go here into the snow material function. Let's select the output and change the output name for this to snow. Then let's do the same for the cliff. So let's select the output node and change this to cliff. Let's apply and save, apply and save. Back to the main material. If you just delete this and add again, as you can see, now we have the proper name. Now we need to create a way of blending these textures together based on slope and height. So for that, let's right click and create a Word Align Blend node. This node is basically the slope blend that we need. So let's put this node to the side right now. We're not going to use this for now. So for this node to work, we need to pass a blend sharpness and a blend bias. So let's create a scalar parameter for that. So just hold S in the keyboard and left click to create a scalar parameter. Let's name this grass, cliff, blend sharpness, So grass cliff, because these are the textures that we're gonna be blending together with this node. So this will be the blend sharpness here. Then let's create, oh my god, let me rename this. Grass cliff blend sharpness. Then let's create a new scalar parameter for the grass cliff blend bias. And let's put this in the blend bias. Let's also create groups for that. So just select one, and here in group, let me create a group here, maybe grass cliff settings. Just select the other one here, and you can select that group. There we go. Okay, so basically this is the slope blend. So now we need to use these values to blend these textures together. For that, we're gonna use a node called blend material attributes. We need to use that node because the output of these functions are material attributes. So we need to use a blend material attributes. For that, let's put the grass on the A and the cliff on the B. And for the alpha, this will be the with explicit normal. This value here, this is the alpha. There we go, we have the blended result here. Now we need to put this into a layer in the landscape. To do that, we need to create a landscape layer blend node. So just create this node and select it. Go here into the layers array here, the layers list. Add a new one to that list. Then you can change the name here. I'm gonna name this auto because this will be the auto material layer. Let's put these results here into that layer, then the results of all layers here in the main material node. There we go, we already have these two textures blended here into the material, into the landscape as well, actually. Let's apply and save. Let's come back here to the level and let's add the material to the landscape. To do that, let's come back here into the landscape folder and let's create a material instance for that material. So just right click into this material and create material instance. Let's name this MI for material instance landscape. So to put the material into the landscape, just select the landscape, select the material, go to details and hit this arrow here into the landscape material. There we go, we put the material here. And as you can see, all the landscape is black now. That's normal, that's because we didn't create the layer info for that auto layer that we created in the material. So we need to create the layer info. So just select the landscape here, and here in selection mode we need to change that to landscape. Let's go to paint, and as you can see we have the auto layer here. To create a layer info, just click on this plus icon here, then weight blended layer and save. There we go, we created a layer info for that layer, and as you can see all the terrain now is grass. That's normal for now. Let's just come back here to the selection. Okay, so we already added the cliff into the plane, but we are not seeing the cliff textures. That's because these parameters are all 0. We need to change that. So, but I'm gonna change this in the instance of this material. So let's just go back here into the landscape folder, material instance landscape. Let's open this. Let me put this to the side here so we can see the landscape. Let me increase a little bit here. There you go. Here in the grass cliff settings, that group that we created, we need to enable these two parameters and we need to play with these values here. So for that, I'm gonna put 20 for the blend bias, and as you can see, all the terrain now is that cliff texture. And for the blend sharpness, I'm gonna put -40. And as you can see, we already have grass on the more planar parts here, but in the more sloped parts we have the cliff textures, and they are blending together, as you can see. Pretty cool. Of course, you can play with these values, so if you increase this, the grass will be more pronounced, as you can see. Just play with these values as much as you want to get what you want. So, but for now I'm gonna leave this as -40. There we go. Okay, now let's put the snow into this terrain too. So let's save the material instance and close, and let's go back to the main material here. Let me put this more to the side and let's work with the snow now. So for the snow, I'm gonna create a height blend. So to do that, I need the absolute world position. So just right click and type position, and you'll find world position here. I'm gonna use the Z because I'm only interested in the Z axis, the up and down axis, as you can see here in the left corner here. The Z, which represents the up and down here. So I'm gonna put this into a smooth step. This will basically be the blend, so we just need to pass a max and a minimum value, and actually the Z will be the value here. Now we need to pass a minimum and a max for the blend here. So I'm actually going to invert this value. So I'm gonna create a scalar parameter. So hold S and left click to create a scalar parameter. Let's name this snow mean height for minimum height, and this I'm gonna actually put in the max height. And I'm gonna create another scalar parameter for snow max height, and let's put this into the minimum here. And this is basically the blend for the height. Now we just need to use that value to blend this result here with this snow. To do that, let's create another blend material attribute. Let's put here, then the snow, and the alpha will be the smooth step result here. There we go. And of course the results of the blend material, this we're gonna put in the layer auto here. So let's apply and save. Let's go back here, and as you can see, all these are snow now. To work with this, we need to of course change these parameter values. Let me put this first into a group. So I'm gonna select this, and then I'm gonna type here snow settings. So let's go to the other one and just select snow settings. Let's apply and save. Now if we open the material instance, let me put this to the side here. We have the snow settings here. So let's enable these two and change its value. So for the max, I'm gonna put 20,000. As you can see, it already changed. And for the minimum, I'm gonna put 6,000. There we go. But it's inverted. Like the lower parts of the terrain is snow, and the other parts, the upper parts, are the grass and the cliff. I want this to be all the other way around. To do that, let's go to the material landscape here. Let's close the instance. We just need to change the order here. So the results of this blend, this will be into the B, and this snow will be in A. There we go. If we apply and save now, it's the other way around, as you can see. Now we just need to play with the values here into the material instance to get the values that we want. So I'm gonna increase a little bit this one. Let's put like 15,000 to see. There we go. I'm gonna increase this to 50,000. Okay, and let's increase this a little bit to 20,000. 20,000 actually. There we go. And as you can see, now in the highest part of the terrain is snow, and as we go down, these are changing to the grass and the cliff texture. There we go. Now we have the textures into the landscape with the correct blend. But that's one final detail that I want to add here, because as you can see, if I'm far away from the mountains, the textures are really small and we are not seeing the details of the textures this far away. So I want to create a distance blend to increase the texture size in the far mountains. So let's do that. Let's go to the material function for the grass and let's create the blend distance here. So I'll be showing you how you can create here in the grass one, but it is the same in the snow and cliff. It is the same thing. So let's start with the grass. So first I'm going to change this parameter name. I'm gonna call it grass near tile size now, because we're gonna have the far one too. So let's change this name and reroute too. So this will be the near base color, then near normal, near ambient occlusion, and near roughness. There we go. Now we can select all this and press C to create a comment, and let's call this near textures, so it's better organized. Now what we need to do, we need to select these textures here and let's duplicate it. I'm just gonna hit Ctrl C and Ctrl V here, and this one will be the far textures. So let's copy this tile setup here. Let's copy this too. Let's change this parameter name to grass far tile size, and I'm gonna decrease this value to make the textures bigger in the screen. So let's put here, I don't know, maybe 0.1. We can change this later, and let's just connect this into the UV of all textures. And as you can see in the preview here, these textures is bigger than these ones, so it's what we want. Now we just need to create another name reroute for all this. So let's right click and create a named reroute. Let's call this far base color. Let's create another one for the normal, so far normal. Another one for the ambient occlusion, so far AO. Let me just put here, the R is the ambient occlusion, and another one for the far roughness. Let's put the G1 here, and let's select all this and comment, and let's call it far textures. There we go. Now we need to create the blend. So for this, it's really simple because Unreal already has a node for that. So let's right click and let's search for distance blend. This one in the MISC here, distance blend. Okay, so here for this to work, we need to pass a blend range and a start offset. So of course we're gonna create parameters for that. So let's hold S and let's click and let's create a parameter for the blend range. So let's call this grass blend range, and let's default this to maybe 100. Then let's create another one for the grass start offset. Let's default this to -1000. These are just the default values. So as you can, if you hover the mouse here, you can see the default values here. So let's just put here, and this is all we need. This is already the distance blend. So let's select this. Let's press C on the keyboard and let's call this distance blend. There we go. Now we just need to use this value, this distance blend value, to blend between these two textures. So let's just delete this for now. Let me put this more to the side, and for that we're gonna use a lerp node for each one of these textures. So let's create a lerp for the base color here. So we're gonna put this distance into a named reroute too, so it's more organized. So let's create a named reroute. Let's call this distance blend. Distance blend, let's put this here. There we go. Now we can use this in the lerp here. So for that, let's search for the distance blend that we created. Here, the named reroute distance blender. This will be the alpha, and we're gonna blend from the near texture, near base color, actually near base color, and the far base color. There we go. This we're gonna put into the base color. We just need to do that for the other two. So let's create another lerp here. Let's copy this distance blend to be the alpha, and now we're gonna blend the normal. So the near normal in the A and far normal into the B, and this is the normal. Let's do another one for the ambient occlusion. So near AO into the A and far AO into the B, and this is the ambient occlusion. And just one more for the roughness. Let's create another lerp. Let's copy this one and let's grab the near roughness and the far roughness, and let's put this into the roughness. Let's just put this to more to the side here, and let's comment. I'm gonna call this blends. There we go. Let's apply and save. So this is basically the distance done. So we just need to do that into the other two here, the snow and the cliff. It's basically the same, so I'm gonna speed up this part. But first, let's see what this does in the landscape. So let's come back here. There you go. As you can see, we have the grass texture a little bit bigger, and if we get close, as you can see, now we have the smaller one. So we have this nice blend. So let's increase that. So if we open the material instance here, we have the grass far tile size. Let me just put this to the side here so we can see the landscape. So we have the grass file tile size and the grass near tile size here. And where is the other values? Let me go here. I think I didn't put this into, yep. So let's just select the blend range here parameter. Let's put this into the grass and the star offset into the grass group as well. Let's apply and save, and let's go to the grass. There we go. We have here the values. So let's just enable this for values here. So for the blend range, I'm gonna put this into 3000. As you can see, it's a little bit far. And for the start offset, I'm gonna put this -5000. There we go. Now we have the blend, but it's a little bit far away, as you can see. So if we are here, we can see all the details in the far textures here, as you can see. So let's just do the same with the other two, the cliff and the snow. So for that, as I mentioned before, it is the exactly same thing, so I'm gonna speed up this part. So let's go. Okay, so I finished creating the distance blend for the snow and the cliff. It is exactly the same as I showed you in the grass material function. We have a distance blend here. Let me go to the snow to show you. I have a distance blend here and a second set of textures for the smaller values here for the tile, then the lerps to lerp between the near and the far based on the distance blend here. And I have this the same with the cliff. So let's see how this affected the landscape. And as you can see, now we are seeing the details of the texture even in the far mountains here. But if I get closer, this changes to the near textures, as you can see. Let me decrease a little bit here. I think you can see the blend here from the bigger and the smaller texture, as you can see. Now we just need to change in the material instance. So let's open this. Let's start with the cliff one. So let's enable the cliff blend range for tile, near tile, and start offset. And I'm gonna put exactly the same as the grass. So for the blend range is actually 3000. So let's put this. There we go. And for the far tile is 0,1. Okay, the near far tile is 1. And the grass start offset is negative 5000. So let's put this minus 5000. There we go. Now you can see that close we have the smaller textures, but far away we have the bigger ones. For the cliff, let's do the same for the snow here. So let's go to the snow category here, snow group. Let's enable this here. And where is the blend here? Snow. I didn't apply it. There we go. Now we have the snow blend range here, the snow far tile, snow near tile, and star offset. I'm gonna put exactly the same as the others. So let's put 3000 in the blend range. The far and the near tile let's leave as it is, and the star offset let's put minus 5000. There we go. So now if we are close, we have the smaller one, but we are far away, we have the bigger one. Actually, I'm gonna increase this node a little bit, so in the far tile size, let's put a smaller number here. Let's put maybe 0.05, so it's a little bit bigger. So let's save and close here, and there we go. We have the final landscape auto material done. And of course, we have a lot of repetitions in the textures, as you can see here. You can do some tricks to hide these repetitions. You can maybe change the textures if you want with the parameters in the material instance. And you can do some tricks inside the material to hide these repetitions. But this video is already really long, so I'm gonna finish here. So if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe so you don't lose any new content. And as always, thank you for watching, keep learning, and have a great day.